Everyone, and welcome to another edition of Salukimania. I'm SIU writer Todd Hefferman, and with me as always is sports editor Les Winkler. We're here to talk about SIU's game with Southeast Missouri State on Saturday, 6 p.m. kickoff down in Cape Girardeau. Both teams come up off opening week losses. SEMO lost number 24 Missouri 34-3, and SIU came a 2-point conversion from beating Indiana on the road, but lost 48-47. What were your takeaways from SIU's game when you watched it on television or wherever you watched it?
The team was much better offensively than I thought they'd be. I was really impressed with the way, with what Ioannidis play. Obviously, he had one of the best days in SIU football history. The 15 pounds he lost has made him quicker. He's still pretty strong. I liked his decision making. I thought it was really impressive how they got all the different people involved in the offense. I think 9 people carried the ball, or 10 people carried the ball. 9 people made catches. I mean, that's just incredible. It's a lot for a defense to try to stop. And I just like the way they mixed things up. I just thought the play calling was really good. I like the fact that the running backs didn't get the ball flat-footed this year. They were either moving parallel to the line or moving to the line. It just seemed like they attacked the holes. The plays developed a lot quicker. It was just a very good offensive performance.
Yeah, I really thought going into the game, really thought they'd struggle to score just because they had so many unknowns at receiver and running back, and Ioannidis had great stats, but he had a problem with turnovers late in the year. They pulled him for a game or two and put him back in at the end, but you know he couldn't have been more solid, and just not just the rushing the football, but efficiency wise. And I don't remember a ball that was close to being intercepted.
No, everything was thrown where only the SIU receivers could catch it. And the other thing I really liked is they had drives, scoring drives at the end of both halves, and there was never a look of panic about the team. They used the clock very well. They were very efficient there. It was just a good, solid performance.
Now I ended up running for 106 yards and a touchdown on 17 carries. Matt DeSomer was another quarterback / wide receiver, 8 carries for 34 yards. And Matt McIntosh got into a couple series, 5 carries, 19 yards. And I imagine he's going to use all 3 again. Quarterback runs such a big part of this offense now, but the two that I think of were Nick Hill and Paul McIntosh, and both of those guys had 1,000-yard rushers behind them. Is it possible? Do you think the SIU could be successful if they don't have a 1,000-yard tailback, but they have 4 or 5 guys that average out to more than 100
no,
yards?
I have no problem with that. I mean, if they by committee, it can be just as effective. A lot of times they don't have the luxury of putting 2 or 3 different guys in, so you have to kind of overuse that guy. I have no qualms whatsoever about spreading it around like that. As a matter of fact, I mean, they're all a little bit different runners. I mean, Cameron Walter's a different runner than Stanton, and Mixon kind of impressed me with the 2 runs he had. He did a good job. I mean, it just gives people a different look. I think it's a great thing.
And I just wonder how long they can do it. You know, nine people got carries, as you mentioned. 10 people took receptions. You know, I think that'll go down a little bit. But if they can keep it, even if it's 6 and 8 every game, that's going to be really difficult for people to defend.
Well, you know, a couple of these guys caught passes out of the backfield or whatever, which you kind of expect. And you know, if you're going to use that many people, you're going to spread it around. And you know, things will happen, like you said, with injuries, and some people. Hopefully, some people will step up and take bigger roles. But we'll just have to see how that plays out. And right now, I mean, it's kind of like open season. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, that's a good thing for SIU. Looking at SEMO, they lost 34-3, but they really had a tough first quarter where Missouri scored the first 17 points, and then they had 3 and outs on 4 of their next 6 possessions. So SEMO's defense, the run defense especially, played pretty well. They forced 2 turnovers. They had a punt blocked for a touchdown. Missouri blocked a punt, scored a touchdown, as SIU did. So I think that's a concern with Southeast Missouri. But their running attack, they averaged over 3.5 yards a carry, used several different running backs, and their coach said that he held a lot back, not wanting to show SIU a lot of film. So I'm curious to see what he's got in store for the Salukis on Saturday.
Yeah, the SIU's defense was troubling at times. Of course, you're playing a Big Ten team, but then again, look who Southeast Missouri State played. They played Mizzou, but. Indiana had some long runs, but the thing that bothered me about the SIU defense is giving up the long passes again, and a couple times the defensive back was there in good coverage, but they didn't look back to make the play on the ball, which has been an issue with the SIU defense for the last 4 or 5 years. But their cornerbacks showed some athleticism. You know, on run support, I thought they showed some toughness. So I think that they're very young back there, but I think I think there's possibilities there.
Yeah, they may have to hold those two safeties back to protect those cornerbacks a little bit, but you can only do so much when you're playing 4 wideouts or 3 wideouts, as SEMO may do. They're brand new guys. You know, Ryan Neal played at safety, playing cornerback for the first time. He was right there in one of the plays you're talking about. He was right there, had inside position, and didn't turn around and make a play on the ball, and was called for pass interference, and did commit pass interference. So they can't have those kinds of penalties.
No, I mean, you know, you're doing the hard part. If you're in position to make the play, then I mean, you've taken everything that the wide receiver has to give you. Then it's just a matter of looking back to the ball and making the play, and you know, hopefully that'll get cleared up.
Yeah, a lot of teams improve the most from week 1 to week 2, so I'll be curious to see how they do. But the game is on the OVC Digital Network. It's also on the SIU Radio Network, and I believe it's on ESPN3 as well. So a lot of places you can check it out. Cape Girardeau's 45 minutes away. Kickoff's at 6 p.m. on Saturday, so we'll see how it goes. Thanks for joining us.